number 10. So Imperial Station number 10 is a place on the outskirts of nowhere, but it actually has steel weapon and armor drops along with buggy and bike parts that are Mark III, blueprints that are Mark III, things that I can't build because I don't have steel. But there are things that I can use within this, and it also has the hardest enemies in the game, has the next tier up. Currently in the creator beta, this is about as challenging as it gets. I'm going to solo this dungeon and show off my level 30 Beni Gesserit and my mustache. I gotta show off the mustache. So, right now we have a Sardaukar ship right in front of us, so we're just going to ignore that for the time being. But let's go. Let's get to it. So this is the wonderful world of Dune Awakening. We got our shield on. We're wearing heavy armor. I have an iron gun. I have a pseudo-pulse sword, which is a very good sword. And we have a few abilities. One is Compel, and another is an ability where I can teleport right behind an enemy and start stabbing them. So when we do that, we want to make sure we have our sword out. And here we go. So we can kind of see. Come up right behind him. Pretty sweet ability. It allows you to teleport pretty vast distances. I will say that the Beni Gesserit is potentially one of the best classes that you can start off as. It's pretty stupid powerful. But yeah, let's keep going. That's just a little bit. So this is Imperial Station 10, as I said. There is a quest in Anvil that you probably would like to get before you come here. I would recommend when you play the game, you run it at least once with your squad. You get some pretty good, decent drops, and it's a dungeon that if you have a group of people, it's very, very easy to do. The enemies, though, are shielded. Even the heavy gunners are shielded, and so it's a bit difficult. Okay. I'm gonna compel. So this is one of the things I like to do with the Beni Gez, is you do a compel and then a shotgun. Yeah, see, he got his shield up. Ah. Watch this. There we go. Oh, I parried. Oop, he's gonna throw a grenade at me. Oopsie daisy. There we are. And sometimes these gents will drop items. It's really, really rare. One of my friends did get a steel weapon drop once. I mean, we've run this dungeon a bajillion times. This is all I've been doing in the beta, is running this, trying to get the sniper rifle. I wasn't lucky. One of my friends did get the heavy pistol, which uses heavy rounds. It is a really good steel gun. And you can build heavy darts in this game. You don't need a weapon fabricator for it. So, yeah. See, look at that. I got a sword. So this is a... This does 9. This is a standard sword. It will say artisan if it's steel. So anything that says artisan is your steel weapons. So that was just an iron weapon. This is the pulse sword. This is a blueprinted sword that does 19.4 damage. So this is the iron, right, at 9. This is the blueprinted iron equivalent, and it does twice as much damage. It also electrocutes enemies when I parry an enemy. So if I parry effectively, I will electrocute people with this sword. Pretty dope. All right, here we go.
Welcome to Imperial.
Yeah, you get this sword from this dungeon over here. This is a blueprint that comes out of Imperial Station number 10. You also have chances to have it drop other places, but you have a near one. Currently, I think it changes weekly what drops, but currently there's about 100% chance to get this in this dungeon. So yeah, I like to do the Compel shotgun. This is probably one of the best Beni Gesserit setups here. He was a little far away, but it's alright. Okay. Yeah. So we got a bit of shielders. There we go. So yeah, if you're wondering if the Beni Gez is pretty freaking dope. See every time you shoot your gun, my shield drops, right? Shield drops. So that's the advantage of running melee builds is you have your shield. Now your shield will break if enough damage is done to it. So the higher level your shield pack is, so your power pack. So this power pack is going to determine how much power I have, and my shield pack is going to determine shield refresh time, power drain, all that jazz. So the higher level your gear is, the more viable melee builds are. Yeah, they finally fixed teleport. It wasn't working in the creator beta, but it's working now. Oh, the Beni Gez is really good for pulling people out. I pulled him into the flames there and burnt him alive. So that was pretty savage Beni Gez hit move right there. But yeah, you can finally play the Beni Gez to its full ability. I didn't actually know that you could light people on fire like that, so that's something for me to remember. It was a pretty savage move. And there's an enormous amount of loot in here. Parts and everything you need to build some of the more advanced components. Again, I would really recommend running this with your friends. So the first mission brings you over to this cavern. In this station here, you can actually pick up a mini bike for free, a scrap mini bike. Then you can drive it up. You can go get your bike. But the second mission takes you to this cave. So if you want to drive northeast once you get your bike, do the second mission, the deep struggle, and then you can go east with your friends to Imperial Station number 10. It's a really good use of time. You'll likely get some of the better weapons you can get in the game. You'll get a good amount of experience. You can hit Anvil up before you come here too to get the quest line. But we're doing pretty good. So we're gonna run. Ooh, we may have missed the loot room. No, we already got the loot room. I got spun around. Let's just make sure we got everything. Yeah, we did. Okay. We got everything in that room. Cool, cool, cool. We're gonna move on. But the Beni Gez is definitely one of the better solo classes because of its ability to control people. Sometimes the enemy can get a little caught up, but... Jeez. Alright. Let's try to get an electrocution in. I didn't do it quite. But you can see this sword does a lot of damage. The other weapons, you have to slow blade them a few times. So having proper weapons, so we just got an artisan sword, so that is a steel sword. You can see every counterpart does about 50% more, so the standard sword does 9. The next tier up does 16.4. Same speed, but the blueprinted weapons, this is an iron, beats the next tier up. So blueprinted weapons are going to be supreme, and people who get to the deep desert first are going to have weapons that are 50% more powerful on average than the highest tier counterpart. So that's a pretty massive advantage if you're doing 50% more damage than people who have crafted the best gear. I think it puts a pretty unfair advantage on those who get to deep desert first, personally. Okay, we got ourselves a fun little time. Sometimes I like to run around like Zoidberg and I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. And I have nice heal kits, the Mark II heal kits. People are asking me, is it just the bandages? Nah, you get higher tier heal kits. This is a heal kit Mark II. The Beni trainer is somewhere else. I don't know where the Beni trainer is. I started off as a Beni Gesserit. The first trainers you can get are the Trooper and the Planetologist. So I always tell people to never start off as the Trooper, because you get the Trooper unlock within the first hour and a half. It's really a wasted trainer in my opinion. The Beni, if you want to get technical, like the Beni Gez, you start off with the super run speed, which I think is more advantageous than the Sugar Wire. You get it, I mean, you get it unlocked within an hour of playing, so you're really not that disadvantaged. I would start off as the Beni Gez. Personally. But yeah, the fast move ability, really freaking dope. And you can see my shield is protecting me from any and all damage. That's the huge advantage of melee combat, is you do not have to pull your shield down. And a bunch of scrap over here if you want to make bullets. I always carry about 1,000 rounds on me, especially in dungeons where the enemies are pretty spongy. Yeah, the mint, if you're gonna go ranged, I would really advise starting off as a mentat. But yeah, there's a bit of enemies here, so I'm gonna switch to ranged. I actually have the trooper abilities to do more damage to mid shots, which are a lot easier to land. You can see the enemies are a bit spongy when you don't have an appropriate weapon. I should have a steel rifle, and I'm using an iron rifle. These are steel level enemies, so if you have the proper weapon, they go down a lot faster. And then there's a lot of good resources in here. Flower sand you need to make silicone, and a complex machinery you need to make some other stuff. So a lot of the material, like you run 4 people, you're each going to get your own loot menu, and you might be able to get all the flower sand and silicone you need. Silicone you need to build the blood purification station number 2, which converts 40% of blood to water versus the tier 1, which is only 20. And water is important to mass manufacturing of iron ingots, steel, and all that stuff. And so I got 16 people from my guild into the beta, and I had to build like multiple blood purifiers because we were just coming through here and pulling back like 100,000 blood every hour. So having a blood purification station 2, you're yielding twice as much water from blood. It cannot be stressed enough how important that is to get that up. So yeah, you're gonna want flower sand, and this is a good place to get flower sand early in the game. Okay, so I got a big dude over here, so that's scary. Yeah, I shouldn't have done. Okay. Sometimes you get locked in a little bit. Ugh. Alright, so we're gonna retreat back just a tad bit. I'm gonna take out this dude. This is why I like this ability, because you can catch them off guard and then kill them like that. These guys can be pretty difficult. Shit. Those grenades can do up to 80 at tier 1, and they can do 240 damage at tier 2. So, grenades are actually pretty viable from the trooper class. Okay. Okay. So, that's why the Beni Gez's ability to move quickly without getting shot up is pretty darn important. Yeah, we killed everybody. I really like the Beni Gez. I think the personally, I like the Beni Gez a little bit more than I like the Swordsman, but I haven't really gotten to play the Swordsman. I've only gotten to kind of experience it through my friends who played it. But I mean, if you like Dune, you know, you're probably like, I want to be Paul, right? You want to be a Beni Gesserit melee combat warrior who's super fast and can move around. There's some other skills. Let's take a peek real quick just so I can kind of give you an idea of how much stronger this gets. I didn't really like the stop ability. I found that the compel ability had a much longer time where they can't do anything. Ignore makes you invisible to someone. That's pretty good for those big dudes. This is a technique that reduces voice channeling time. Very cool. Prana Bendu strikes are really good in conjunction with other players, because what it does is it throws that person off, and people around you can get because they're considered basically stunned or whatever, or there's a technical term for it and I can't remember, but this instability. So instability, there it is. So you do bonus damage to instability characters that are like caught off guard. So this is really good for team play. And then all this stuff up here is a little bit different. Screech, I'm not going to go into that too much. What really makes the Beni Gez amazing is its passives, abilities to heal, things like that. But yeah, you only have so many voice commands, and realistically, Weirding Step and Compel have been my go-to. As you can see, they're very powerful together, especially if you have a shotgun. Yeah, blocking darts with your sword is legit. It is legit. Swordsmen are pretty cool for that. I'm actually going, for my PvP character, I'm actually going to run a Mintat Swordsman who can, yeah, deflect darts and has the sentry. So that's going to be, like, it's, yeah, and I'm going to run a sniper rifle. I'm going to run a sniper rifle, an SMG, and a sword. And so anyone who comes at me is going to get fucked up. Okay, I got a lot of people coming to kick my ass. So this isn't ideal. So I'm going to try to bait some people out. You want to use your surroundings when you're soloing. I like to kind of dip behind cover. This isn't going to go my way. We need to quickly kill this dude. Oh, I got turned around. Perfect. The big dude's coming. He's not a very good shot, as you can see. Oh, that didn't work on him. So you can see he's a shielded heavy gunner, which makes him... Oh, shit. Yeah, can you get him? Oh, you got me good. Oof. Okay, I'm getting desynced. That's not good either. Yeah, blocking darts, though, would be pretty advantageous here, right? And his shield is almost down. If I had a minigun, I could blow through him, but I'm going to try to kill him. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So, don't discount melee just because it doesn't look like it works. Once you get the proper setup and you get further in the game, it's very viable as a way to clear enemies. Like I said, when your shields get more powerful and you get better battery packs, you become a lot more tanky. And being tanky is pretty good. The only way to break a shield really is with an SMG or if enough people light you up. But even then, it's actually pretty difficult unless you're landing really, really good shots. But yeah, there's a bit of loot around here. Like I said, you'll get a bit of the materials you need. We haven't even gotten to the good loot yet. We also haven't even gotten to the hard part yet. There's a much harder part. There we are. Yeah, I'm really glad they fixed that move because it's probably the best move in the game for this character. This is testing station number 10. But yeah, you can see the enemies are a lot different than the other ones. And you wouldn't think to come here because it's on the edge of the map in the middle of nowhere. We didn't discover this until the, like, really late in the creator beta. Like a couple days, and then we're like, oh wow, you can get artisan weapons here. So you can see also, I was able to get them with their shield down when I used the compel ability, so that's another thing I like about it. Oh, that is a bomb. Oh god, I hit windows, I hit windows, I hit windows. Sometimes I hit windows instead of left alt. I really hate the way that they position that. Okay. Oh my god. Alright. So I electrocuted him, as you can see. Okay. Yeah, don't hit windows. That's my main advice to you. And remember to search. I never like to usually search bodies, but now I always search bodies because my friend got his heavy pistol off a body. It's like a 1 in 1,000. Jeez Louise, die already. Oh my god. Alright, we're gonna pull back for a second and heal. we're getting close to the main loot rooms. You can get some fuel cells down here too, and that's always nice early game. Yeah, don't hit the windows. Jeez Louise. That's the third time I've done it. Yeah, the loot here sucks. I'm gonna skip most of it. The main loot is usually in this chest right here. So we got a leap suspensor belt, and that just lets you fly up like that. So that's pretty cool that you can get those early. And you'll get shields too in here. Me and my friend, we ran here first in our pajamas, and yeah, we got the Markman 2 shield. If you use tactics and you hide behind cover, even with the basic pistol and enough rounds, I would take about 1,500 rounds in here with just one other person. You can clear this pretty quick. So we're gonna compel this person to come at us, and then we're gonna mow him down. Okay. There we go. We're just getting them kind of out in the open. Alright, there we go. That's how you do it. So you can clear 3 people pretty easy. Just divide and conquer kind of strategies. Alright, let's go to the loot room back here. There's a lot of little loot rooms, but the big drops come from here. So like here you can see I got a shield Mark II. So if you ran in here butt naked, you could get to the shield pretty quick doing this. And then, yeah, if you need fuel cells for your first base, you're typically going to get a bunch of it. And I end up actually having to dump, like, the majority of shit on the ground because I already have so much of this. The only thing I would say, do not dump your flour sand. You need silicone for a lot of the advanced constructions and components. So keep all the flour sand that you can get early game. It will save you a massive headache. All right. And then, yeah, if you want blood, you can get it. I have so much water at base. Yeah, Imperial Station 10 is right over here, very far east side of Eastern Vermilius Gap. So it's right here. Alright, here we go. We got another area of... So yeah, these are the big dogs. Yeah, this is a bad run. Sometimes you'll get really lucky and you'll get good gear. I mean, so far we got a steel sword, so that's just to show you that you can definitely get a steel drop here. And you can run this... I ran this dungeon in my first 3 hours of playing with a friend, and you got... I've run this dungeon with a lot of people, so this is it. There's about 15 individuals in this room. I don't know how well we're going to do, but I'm going to heal up. You can see I have multiple heal bars. Because I'm a Beni Gez, I have more health. So when you get those abilities, make sure that you're not just healing up to the first bar, but the second bar as well. Alright, let's make sure we're locked and loaded. Okay. So this is where shit's gonna get real. I don't have anybody to... With 2 people in pajamas, this is easier than just what I'm doing by myself. I have every gun pointed at me. So those 2 gents right there, they're not gonna do shit. As long as I don't engage them. So there's a dude over there. If I pull this guy, I pull all of these dudes. Okay. I might want to just pull them. Okay, very good. Very good. And to the left, right, gonna pull him in. He just tried to knee me. So you can see that the enemies get a little smarter. They get all the abilities you get eventually. So you have to be pretty smart about how you dispatch them. Alright, we did it. Alright, so there's a sniper over there. We need to take the sniper out first. He can one-shot you. Okay, sniper's done. Oh, good God. Okay. Yeah, not the. Oh, good God. Okay. I gotta take this gunner out. Oh, he's gonna do me. He's gonna do me bad right now. Come on. Okay. Okay. Any weapons? Any weapons? No. Now I do bonus damage to midsection. If you're wondering why I'm not shooting for the head, I'm using the trooper ability to do 20% more damage, and it's really easy to aim long distances and get torso shots. You can see. Look at that distance, though. Jeez Louise, dude. This guy's tough. And he can break my shield really easy. I have to be careful not to let him kick my ass. Alright, we've cleared a lot. We still haven't killed everybody. There's more. I'm going to clear the top section first. Perf. Okay. And the sniper can sometimes drop some good stuff. He usually drops like a range. He drops heavy darts and a rangefinder because he has a sniper, the thing I'm trying to get more than anything in the world. Alright. Top section is clear. Now it's time to go down. I think there's a... Oh, good Jesus. We gotta take this heavy gunner out quick. Oh, that hurt. Oh, got him. Oh. Alright, we killed everybody. So, if you're wondering where I got the buggy, it's right here. This is a scrap buggy that you can get in the game. Here is the scrap buggy. So, you have to take it apart piece by piece and bring it up, and it will break. You need to run this dungeon with about 7 or 8 people, and eventually, over a day or two, you will get thread mark 3s for the buggy, and you can drive it around. So here's some silicone, but it takes quite a bit of work to get a buggy that is actually operational, but that gives you the foundation right there. So you see here, I got the buggy PSU Mark III. So you get a bunch of buggy parts in here. This is a lot of the steel items. It's the only place I know of that you can get steel item drops of fully functioning items. I know I saw that someone was saying you can find carbon in the sand using the scanner, but it will take you like fucking 7 or 8 hours to harvest enough for like one steel weapon. And unfortunately, this is gonna end tomorrow, so I think I missed the big loot chest. Hold on. There's a big loot chest. This isn't where a lot of the stuff is. Yeah, here's the big loot chest. There's another drop here. So I'm getting really bad drops, but I already did get a few of the steel stuff. But you run this, everything the storage in treasure regenerates every 45 minutes in dungeons. I believe the enemies regenerate like every 15 to 30 minutes though. So what's kind of cool about running this is you can keep going along and get a lot of experience too. I mean, I'm getting a lot of experience, so I will say that doing missions seems to be one of the better ways to get experience though. You can get like 700 experience for some missions, but there's more than enough. Another cool thing is there's a lot of water here, so you don't even have to worry about getting dehydrated, really. Man, that guy took some shots. There we are. 2 dead folk. Got some spice. Keep all the spice you find. You're gonna need it when you get through a lot more of this. But yeah, a lot of the advanced components you need.
Attention, all of you. I know you are all impressed with the bearing of our friends.
There we are. But yeah, it's pretty important to have one friend. I'm not gonna lie, like, you can do a lot with just one other person. That's, you know, when people aren't shooting at, when every single bullet isn't hitting your face, it's amazing what you can accomplish. Alright, I got him out. Oh, good God. This isn't good. Okay, I got stuck. Yeah, I'm in bad shape. Oh, I'm in real bad shape right now. Alright, we're gonna do the classic runaway strategy. Gonna wait for them to, you know, stop shooting at me. There we go.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Alright. And we're parched, you know, we're parched from that fight. So keeping your water levels high gives you increased stamina, max stamina, and regeneration. So it's really important as a melee fighter to be properly hydrated. You're an athlete, basically. We're getting really shit drops, but you have chance to get a lot of vehicle parts here. Yeah, let's keep healing. There we are. All right, here's the boss room. So there's the boss. He's like this emo dude. He's not really that cool. He's not very hard either. I'm gonna try to take out this guy with the shield. Crap. Yeah, you get back here. I'm like shooting someone point blank. Alright. I'm gonna take out all of his friends first. He's a little spongy. I don't know why I went behind him. I just thought it was funny. Alright, 91 XP for killing him. But yeah, I just got a... What did I get? A Sandbike PSU Mark II. Not bad. You can replace that. That will give you some better energy there. Alright, and so this is where the main loot room is. It's the end of the dungeon. But this is where you get the sword that you currently see me using, which is ridiculously OP. I've gotten pretty much every single time a schematic for it. Oh, this time I didn't get one. We got Beni Gez pants. These are iron pants, so these are going to be really, really good. We got a schematic for the Sandbike Mark III engine. So the blueprinted Mark I engine is faster than the Mark III standard engine. So this thing is going to be faster probably than the Mark IV or 5. That's another reason to run this dungeon is if you want, it's not too hard to get steel. You just need to get carbon. We're just locked out of it. And then yeah, Dew Reaper, perfect. I needed that. So I didn't get this bad boy. But if I ran it again, I would most likely get it. But this is where you get it. I usually get it every single time. I have like a bajillion of them. But that's the Beni Gesserit that's the full power of a Beni Gez. You saw pretty much how easy I cleared this, and I'm using just iron weapons here. I didn't even really need to. I probably could have done the whole thing with my sword, to be honest. But when you want to use all the weapons at your disposal. So at this point, what you can do is just, you know, carry on. There's a dungeon I call the Butthole, which is called Imperial Station 197, and it's just this giant hole in the ground. I think it's my least favorite testing station. It's really confusing. You get turned around, and I haven't found the rewards to be that fantastic. But I think you might have to do it for a quest. So, I mean, do it if you want. I might skip it myself. The southwest, the southeast and the southwest ironworks, and then the northwest ironworks are really, really good up here. So, but all the Jabal is where you get carbon, I think. I'm pretty sure it's either Jabal or it's over here. So when the full game is out, you know, you're not going to need to stay in these zones for 30 years. I think I'm closing in on 100 hours in the first 3 zones since I started playing the creator beta, and I'm losing my mind a little bit. So some of these things can actually be detrimental. I would not, like, we put a base here. I would not do that. Like, just come in here once, run it with your friends, get like that blueprint for the Mark III engine is, like, I guarantee that thing's going to go at least 110 to 120, and you're going to be, you know, you're going to be flying through the rest of the game on that bike. That's going to be a really good bike. Yeah, the Butthole sucks, man. I hate it so much. It's probably the worst dungeon I've ever. It's just so big. And then you got to climb out of it too. It's just like it's such a chore. It's like the biggest chore ever. Now, one of the if you want a shotgun called the Shredder, so far I've been getting it out of Suck Alussus, which sounds like a joke name that I would make up. You saw my previous video, I put a base here. So I got the Shredder blueprint, which is a iron grade shotgun that does like freaking 150 damage, and it leaves shrapnel and bleed, and it is a beautiful gun. You also get a lot of EMF generators, sandwich fabrics. Really recommend running that. This is a dungeon, but you don't always know. Some of these things, I've noticed that there are fewer orange caves, but they're much larger. Like down here, you know, you can run a bunch of them really quick. Like, look over here, you got freaking 5 of them in a row. But up here, you have fewer ones, but they have like a lot in them. So I'm really curious to see how future zones go. Up here, you can see we got the eastern and western shield wall. So I think that this is kind of where most people are gonna gravitate towards. And then this area is Jabal, the Haga Rift. Yeah, the Haga Rift is right there. All the way up there. There's a big old cave. It's going to be really cool to see the rest of this game. And then we have Shoal, and I don't know what that is. I think it might have a rate. You see this green? I think Shoal is a completely irradiated zone based on this green that's kind of bleeding over on all of the map side here. Been looking at it. So you might need... This might be an important place. So I think West Vermilion Gap is going to be a great base location based on all of the territories around it. And so that's kind of where I'm leaning, but who knows? Maybe Jabal is the best place to base. Who knows? But yeah, you got Eastern, you got... Ooh. Yeah, you got Jabal all right here. And you got Misa. And then you got Shoal. So you got pretty much the big regions right there around Western. Eastern seems kind of like a terrible place to base, like, because you're keeping yourself near like the shittiest place. But I think you have to come back here for iron. I don't know. I know that like Western Vermilius Gap has copper in it, but I don't know if the other regions are kind of similar. Yeah, there are radiations. Well, this is radiation. I mean, this is radiation. I know that. So I'm pretty sure Shoal is just massively... You can kind of see it bleeding through, but not really. I would need to go... I need to go shoot some balls in the air. Oh yeah, you can't see it there, but you can see it over here. You can see it bleeding through the Shoal. We could... I think the the shield wall ends here, so if you were to run completely west, you could actually probably see if it is irradiated, in fact. Yeah, only trooper in the current open beta are those two, but I mean, this isn't the full game. The full game, there's everything. I think all the advanced trainers are at the cities, but I don't know for sure. Based on the video that Funcom posted a video talking about like the advanced Beni Gez trainer being at the city. So I have a theory, but yeah, you can with this sword though, you clean through it. But this is where you get the sword. You can also get this sword randomly. I think that every week the loot drops change. Like the vehicle, this one's been consistent for vehicle parts, but like I think for weapons and stuff, like you have a chance of getting them in a lot of different places. So, but this thing is amazing. And I guess that every tier has a version of this sword. So there's an aluminum version of this sword with the electric bounce off and the increased damage. So the one thing that kind of sucks is so I kind of want to explain something actually. This is really important. So you notice how like my sword's degrading and my gun is degrading as I use them. So let's come over to the Mentat. So I think this might confuse a little bit of people. So there's that's Garment Keeper, sorry. So this is Soldier. So there's Field Maintenance, right? And then there's Gunsmith. So reduce max durability loss. When you repair an item, you lose max durability. So you see this red thing here? If I repair this, I will lose max durability and only have so much durability that can degrade. So so for instance, went back out. Yeah. So field maintenance reduces durability loss. So that's active wear and tear. So as I'm shooting, instead of losing 100% of whatever durability, it could be like 0.02 durability per shot, right? So this will make your weapons last longer in use. And this perk, which reduces max durability loss, reduces how much max durability is lost when you repair the item. So you want both of these in conjunction. Like field maintenance for me is the most important one because that's wear and tear. So eventually, you know, you use this stuff enough, you're going to need multiple blueprints because you will eventually go through this stuff. But as you can see, I think this sword is going to last me a really, 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 really long time. But that's, you know, that's this dungeon. It's a lot of fun. Look how far you can go with this thing, though. It is so cool. Boom. And then wherever his little friend is. Oh, his little friend just ran away. What a jerk. Oh no, he's pretending I don't exist. He just watched his friend get murdered and he's like sitting with his binoculars. Oh, it's chair. It's always chair. Anyway, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But this is my awful Picasso base. I had a little too much fun with this, I think. What I like about the base is that things kind of expand organically, right? So I made this area up here, and you know, over the course of weeks and months, I'm gonna turn this into something that looks a lot better than whatever the hell this is. But yeah, I have a beautiful view of the shield wall, if you can see it through the sand, and eventually I'll turn this. The decorations in this game are pretty dope. You can do. I made a little water cooler here. But yeah, I've exhausted. I've put 100 hours into the 20 hours worth of content, and I've exhausted everything that it can do. But these are the blood purifiers, so our base is just full of water, and yeah, it's pretty dope. But anyway, that is gonna do it for today's little live stream. I just thought I would show people what this area. I mean, like, yeah, you can get buggy parts and lots of really cool stuff. And those buggy parts, I mean, to be quite honest, here's the pulsar. These buggy parts are very, very, very expensive. You go into your research, and we come down to buggies, like, so Yeah, if I research them, I might be able to see a little bit more detail. Oopsie daisy. I clicked the wrong button. Okay. So look, 30 steel ingots, right? You know, so everything I can get is going to make it quicker. So what you need is I'm also getting the cutter ray down here that you can mount, but I don't have a buggy utility rear mount. So I need this buggy utility rear mount to be able to do that. But yeah, so if you run this dungeon with your friends, you're going to get your buggy with the cutter ray up. And so remember what I told you guys, if you've watched me before, is look at mining yields. Look how much iron you get with this. 135. Copper, granite, salvage metal, 195. Carbon, and I can't even say that, ethereite, 112. So if you go to a cutter ray Mark II, which I don't have, it's way lower than that. So if you can get your buggy cutter ray, you can run around on a buggy, which is up here. And, oh no, buggy's gone. So I think someone lost it. But yeah, you can run around on a buggy with a cutter ray and you're getting double the amount that you would normally mine. If you unlock the planetologist, which, I mean, is really, really easy to do, and I showed you in a previous video, you can get, right, where are you? You can get a skill, yeah, right here, vehicle repair, vehicle mine, oh yeah, vehicle mining. Mining yield 10%. So you're getting an extra 10, almost 10. Let's see. Yeah, you'd be getting almost 20 extra copper with just one rank. You'd be getting 13.5 more iron. I mean, like, yeah, it's dope. It's really dope. This is a really good dungeon to run early game. You should run it a couple times if you can to get those parts. It's going to save you a fortune in time. No, you cannot recycle the buggy parts for steel, unfortunately. They just turn into scrap. I mean, trust me, we already tried that. Yeah, it just all turns to scrap. You get blade parts and plastiles, but you don't get any kind of ingots from any of the things that you degrade. You either get scrap or you get a component that was used in it. I think Mark 6 is max. And that's you just go down to the bottom here. Yeah, I mean the armors start looking really savage. So yeah, Mark 6 heal kit. Yeah, Mark 6 is the end of the road. Massive blood pack. Leader John Mark 6. The Dew Scythe. Dew Reaper. Blood Extractor Mark 6. This Blood Extractor Mark 6 looks bigger than a person, so that's going to be a funny thing to shove up someone's rear end. And then, yeah, the last stage still suit. I'm looking forward to getting the Fremen Death Still. So that's going to be dope. I want one bad. They're cheap, too. 60 steel ingots is cheap. 25,000 water. No longer will I have to, you know, go out and suck off 30 dudes' blood sacks just to make a couple bars of iron, and I can just pull a whole body back. But yeah, we got a good view. But yeah, this is like the worst place to make a base ever. There's no iron here. I would really not recommend ever basing here. We just did it for the beta test, but yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet game. I know all my friends are excited. I really hope they don't postpone it again because I just want to play. I want to get the steel. I want to get the ornithopters, and I want to explore the rest of this world, which is massive. And I want to see the deep desert. So yep, a lot of good stuff. There's a lot to explore. I think I've pretty much hit everywhere. Actually, the only place I don't think I've been is up here. And yeah, that's it. I think I've literally hit every single area in the game. I don't think I've been all the way over here too, except when you start off, sometimes you start over in these areas, but you're running east. But if you drive too far out, you're likely to get killed by the worm. So you'd have to sacrifice if you want to see Shoal, you're going to have to sacrifice yourself on a bike, which I might do. It's just to see it. Oh, there's a worm sighting out there. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool basing next to the shield wall because you get this cool blue light at night. That's one thing I actually kind of like. I think it's kind of trippy. I got a... It's like a lava lamp. It's an interesting effect. Alright, well, that is going to do it for me today, so I think that's probably the last thing I'm going to post on Dune. I may compile like all of my live streams into one giant video for people to watch in one sitting, but most likely we'll edit out some of the boring parts, try to keep it concise. So, yep, have a good day, everybody.